Reid burned through $20 million, and his startup collapsed in less than a year. The room didn't just go quiet, it turned against him. Laughter broke first. Low, sharp, controlled. The kind of laughter people use when they know you can't fight back. Evan stood at the head of the glass conference table, shoulders tight, jaw locked, trying to hold on to whatever authority he had left. Screens behind him still displayed the numbers. Red, brutal, undeniable. One investor leaned back in his chair, shaking his head. $20 million, he said, almost impressed. Gone. Another smirked. I've seen bad founders before, but this? He chuckled. This is a masterclass in failure. A few more joined in. Not loud, not chaotic, just enough. Enough to make it clear. Reid was finished. He didn't speak. What was there to say? The product had stalled. User growth flatlined. Burn rate out of control. 6 months ago, he was on magazine covers. Now, he was the cautionary tale. Maybe next time, someone added, tapping the table lightly. Build something that actually works. More laughter. Evan's eyes moved across the room slowly. Not angry, not emotional, just cold. Because the worst part wasn't the failure. It was that they were right. He had believed his own hype. Scaled too fast. Hired too quickly. Spent like success was guaranteed. And now, there was nothing left to defend. No company. No team. No second chance. Just silence and the echo of people who used to believe in him. He picked up his laptop, closed it, and without saying a single word, walked out. The elevator ride down felt longer than it should have. No calls. No messages. No one waiting. Just silence. Evan stepped out into the street, the city moving like nothing had happened. Cars passed. People laughed. Somewhere, life was still normal. But not for him. His phone buzzed. Another headline. Another reminder. He didn't open it. He already knew what it would say. The office was worse. What used to be energy was now emptiness. Chairs pushed in. Monitors turned off. Whiteboards still filled with plans that would never happen. Half-drunk coffee cups sat untouched, like everyone had left in a hurry, or didn't care enough to come back. Evan walked slowly through the space, each step louder than the last. This place had once felt unstoppable. Now, it felt like a mistake. He stopped at his desk, looked at the chair, didn't sit, didn't move, because sitting meant accepting it, accepting that it was over. And for the first time since the crash, there was no one left to blame. No investors, no market, no bad timing, just him, and everything he got wrong. Then, a sound, soft, steady, out of place, typing. Evan turned. At the far end of the office, one screen was still on, one desk still occupied. Maya Jordan. She didn't look up right away. Fingers moving, focused, like deadlines still mattered. Like the company hadn't just died. Evan frowned. Why are you still here? She paused, then glanced up, calm. Because the work isn't finished. He let out a short, dry laugh. There is no work. There is no company. Maya studied him for a moment. Not with pity, not with doubt, just clarity. Only if you decide that's true. Evan shook his head, frustrated now. We ran out of money. Investors walked. The product failed. She slowly closed her laptop, stood up, walked toward him, every step measured. You think this ended because of the product? He didn't answer. Didn't need to. That's what everyone had been saying. That's what he had been telling himself. Maya stopped in front of him, close enough now that he couldn't ignore her. Her voice didn't rise, didn't soften. It sharpened. You didn't fail because of the product. You failed because of how you built it. The words landed hard. No hesitation. No cushioning. Just truth. Evan stared at her. For a second, he almost laughed. Not because it was funny, but because no one had spoken to him like that in a long time. You think you understand this better than I do? He asked, voice low. Maya didn't flinch. I think you built for attention instead of stability, she said. You scaled before you proved anything. Hired people you didn't need. Burned cash trying to look successful instead of being sustainable. Each word hit like a strike. You had a good idea, she continued, but you buried it under ego. Silence filled the space again. This time, different. He looked around the office. At the empty desks. The dead screens. The ghost of what this place used to be. Then back at her. So what are you saying? He asked. Maya held his gaze. I'm saying it's not dead. A beat. It's just broken. Evan exhaled slowly. And you think it can be fixed? She shook her head slightly. No. A pause. Then, we rebuild it. Evan let out a quiet breath. Rebuild, he repeated. With what? Maya didn't answer immediately. She walked past him, straight to the whiteboard still covered in old plans. Then, without hesitation, she erased everything, line by line, idea by idea, like none of it mattered anymore. Evan watched in silence. That board had once been their roadmap. Now, it was blank. Maya picked up a marker, turned back to him. With what you actually have left, she said. That's nothing, Evan replied. She shook her head. No, it's just not $20 million anymore. She wrote one word on the board. Core. Then circled it. You don't need everything, she said. You need one thing that works. Evan stepped closer. You really think starting over fixes this? Maya met his eyes. I think doing it right this time does. A pause. The weight of everything hung between them. The failure. The loss. The risk. Evan looked at the empty office again. Then back at the single word on the board. Core. Slowly. He nodded. All right, he said. 3 months. Maya didn't smile. Good, she replied. Then let's build something real. The next morning, Maya arrived at 6 a.m. Lights on. Laptop open. Already working. Evan walked in minutes later. He hadn't slept. But for the first time in weeks, he wasn't thinking about what he lost. He was thinking about what was possible. Maya didn't waste time. Sit, she said, sliding a document across the table. Evan glanced at it. Then again, this wasn't the old product. It was smaller, sharper, focused. What is this? He asked. The version that should have existed from the start. They stripped everything down. No extra features. No inflated promises. No distractions. Just one problem. Solved properly. Days blurred into nights. Coffee stacked up. Whiteboards filled and erased. Ideas tested, killed, rebuilt. Evan watched Maya closely. She didn't rush. Didn't guess. She moved with precision, like she had already seen the mistakes before they happened. This works, she said one night, pointing at the model. Evan leaned in. For the first time since the collapse. He felt it. Not hype. Not ego. Something real. A chance. Not to prove people wrong, but to finally build something right. The first pitch failed. Not quietly. Completely. The investor barely looked at the deck. Didn't you already burn through $20 million? He asked, flipping a page without interest. Evan opened his mouth, then stopped, because there was no good answer. The second meeting wasn't better. They didn't even make it halfway. Come back when you have traction, someone said, already standing up. Meeting over. In the elevator down. Silence. Then, Evan slammed his fist lightly against the wall. This is pointless, he muttered. No one's going to trust me again. Maya didn't react immediately. She watched the numbers on the elevator tick down, then said calmly, then stop asking them to trust you. Evan turned. What does that mean? It means, she said, stepping out as the doors opened. I'll pitch. He blinked. You? Yes. They're not going to take you seriously. Maya looked at him. Steady. Certain. They don't have to, she said. They just have to listen. Evan hesitated. Pride rising, then falling, because pride had already cost him everything. He nodded once. All right, he said quietly. Next meeting, you lead. Maya gave a small nod. Good, she said. Now we have a chance. The next meeting felt different. Not louder. Not bigger. Just focused. Maya walked in first. No hesitation. No over-explaining. She didn't carry the weight Evan did. And it showed. They sat across from two investors. No small talk. No wasted time. Whenever you're ready, one of them said. Maya began. No buzzwords. No inflated projections. Just clarity. We're not rebuilding what failed, she said. We're building what should have existed from the start. Evan stayed quiet. For once. He didn't need to lead. She walked them through it. The problem. The mistake. The correction. Every point sharp. Every answer direct. No defending the past. No apologizing for it either. The room shifted. Not dramatically. Subtly. But enough. One of the investors leaned forward. Who's leading this now? He asked. Maya didn't hesitate. I am. A pause. Then. Together, she added. Silence. Then a nod. Send us the numbers, he said. We want to look deeper. Outside. Evan exhaled slowly. That, he started. Maya didn't look at him. I know, she said. And for the first time, they weren't chasing approval. They were earning it. The first check wasn't big, but it was enough. Enough to keep going. Then came another. Smaller. Slower. But real. They didn't celebrate. Didn't stop. Because this time, they understood how fragile it all was. The office began to change. Not full, not busy, but alive again. A few desks lit up. A few new faces joined. People who didn't care about hype, just the work. Maya kept everything tight. No unnecessary hires. No wasted spend. No shortcuts. Evan noticed the difference. Not just in the company. In himself. He spoke less. Listened more. Questioned decisions he would have rushed before. One night, he stayed late. Watching Maya go over numbers, focused as ever. "You've done this before," he said quietly. She didn't look up. "No," she replied. "I just don't repeat mistakes." That stayed with him. Because this wasn't luck. It wasn't timing. It wasn't a second chance handed to him. It was something else. Something harder. They were building. Carefully. Deliberately. And for the first time, it felt like it might actually last. 3 months later, the email came in. Subject line: Acquisition Inquiry. Evan read it twice. Then a third time. Still didn't feel real. A major tech firm. Global reach. Serious money. He walked out to the main floor. Maya was at her desk. Focused. As always. "We got an offer," he said. She didn't react immediately. "From who?" He told her. That got her attention. "How much?" she asked. Evan hesitated. Then said it. 50 million. Silence. Not shock. Not excitement. Just wait. Maya leaned back slightly. Thinking. Processing. "That's enough to walk away," Evan added. "No more risk. No more pressure." She looked at him now. Really looked. "And become what?" she asked quietly. He didn't answer. Because he knew. Another exit story. Another startup sold too early. Another idea that never reached what it could have been. Maya turned back to her screen. Then said, "If we sell, this becomes just another product." A pause. "And if we don't?" Evan asked. She met his eyes. "It becomes something that actually matters." If this story touched your heart, hit that like button. Subscribe so you never miss a story, and drop a comment telling us where in the world you're listening.